Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at secrets people will take to the grave. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. They'll take it to the grave, but they'll tell everybody on the internet. One of the times I told my parents I was going to spend the weekend in a sleepover at a friend's house. I instead had that friend drive me to the airport, where I'd booked a cheap flight to the UK so I could go watch a musical I'd also bought a ticket for. While I waited for the show, I ate lunch and also bought an illustrated edition of The Silmarillion. Once the show was over, worth every penny, I went back to the airport and waited there for my flight back. It was a very early morning flight back, but I was young, then figured I could pull off the all-nighter. Took the plane back home, a friend picked me up from the airport, spent the rest of the day at her house sleeping, and at night my parents showed up and drove me home none the wiser. It's good to be young, hey? I mean, I'm assuming they're young because they're like, I'm telling my parents I need to go to a sleepover. Life. Life was so fun back then. Now, my stepdad's abuse went beyond physically. In my 50s now, just dealt with it. Went to therapy at the wife's prodding, but didn't tell her everything. This was pre-internet, and I honestly didn't think what was happening could happen to boys. Had nobody to tell and would have been too embarrassed to. So just packed it away. Left home at 18. He died several years ago, and I'm happily married with 3 kids. I focus on being an awesome dad, but therapy does help if you find the right one. I'm glad he's getting better, and he's getting the help that he needs. But it's so true what he said. I feel like for men, it's so much harder to tell someone. I mean, obviously for women, it's hard too, but we have our friends to talk about things and also our family too. It's a lot easier for us to bring things up versus men. But yes, I hope he heals. My mum confided that she had an affair with her mum's second husband. They planned to start a life together, but he died first. Geez, mum, you couldn't find anybody else. Excuse me? Their mom had an affair with their step-grandpa. You really couldn't find anyone else to connect with? You had to try to get with your mum's husband? When I was 12 to 13, I used to make out with my cousin. I don't know if I want to continue reading this. She was 2 years older than me. I saw her a couple of times a month usually, and we were always really close. I think one time we were just messing around and she suggested practicing kissing for a boy she liked in school, and we made out. Ended up pretty much having a long makeout sesh every time we saw each other for around a year. Nothing more happened, I think, but I vaguely remember her trying to give me... We're not as close anymore, but whenever I do see her at family events, we just pretend like nothing happened and have never talked about it since. What the frick? Why do they think that was okay? Like, what is wrong with a cousin too? So the cousin was 2 years older than them? What? Why? It's the fact that they still see each other at family gatherings. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? I destroyed the engine of a brand new truck by pouring a bag of sugar in it. They lived a couple of miles from us in the country, but their son and I rode the same bus. My dog liked to stand by the road when I got home to wait for my brother and I. He was a pit bull / border collie and exceptionally sweet. Even though they were miles away, they didn't like that he was part pit bull. He was in our fenced yard when my family went to the store and gone when we came home. He limped home 3 days later, and it was clear he had been run over by an ATV because the tracks were clear on his little flank. His leg was broken and twisted, and he was in so much pain. We didn't have the money to get him fixed up, so he had to be put to sleep. Oh my goodness, I would hunt those people down. Literally. Local cops said there was nothing we could do, and that the family, who were the only ones in the area who had an ATV, claimed they were terrified of our vicious dogs. The son also smirked at us on the bus and pantomimed riding over something and made a dog yelping noise. This will be the reason I go to jail. I think I'm pretty confident that this would be one of the reasons where a lot of the dog lovers, if this happened to their dog, this would be one of the reasons why they would end up in prison. Because, excuse me, we treat our pets like our family. It's pretty much like them killing a family and them smirking about it, acting like they did the right thing. Oh my goodness. And they would literally mock him in his face, making the dog yelping noise. Oh my goodness. We buried him in our yard, and my mum let me plant a lilac over his grave. A few months later, those assholes got a brand new truck, and I decided to get some justice for Rex. They didn't have any cameras, so one night I walked through the fields to this shitty little hobby farm with a 5-pound bag of sugar and poured it into the tank of the new truck and into the ATV. We did get a visit from the cops 2 days later, asking if we knew anything about some property destruction that had happened the other night. My mum told them no, that we had all been home. Pretty sure she knew what I did because the next time we went to the store, she asked me to go get another bag of sugar to replace the one I used, and she grinned at me. Haven't told anyone except my spouse what I did back then. Amazing. Justice. But not enough. Oh my god, I actually think I would go a bit mental if this happened to me. Like, can you imagine someone just taking your dog, running your dog over, and then leaving them to die, and then your dog comes back limping, yelping, in pain, and then you just have to put them to sleep because that's the best thing you could do for them. And then the people who did that to your precious family member, they're smirking. Yeah, they deserve to rot in hell. Seriously. I think people think I'm rude because I don't say hello to them in public if I see them. But really, when I was a teenager, I had so many moments where I said hi to people I knew and they had no idea who it was. And this made me feel like I'm an incredibly forgettable person and I'm afraid that they won't know who I am. Oh, that makes sense. That is so sad to think about. I think I can relate a bit just because I'd say I'm more on the shy end. When I do see someone, I do say hi, but I'm not as talkative. Versus if it was someone I actually knew well. I think a lot of people, they take like someone's shyness as them being rude. It's just like lots of introverts are seen as rude people because they're just shy and antisocial. I'm pretty sure I don't feel emotions like other people. When I was a kid, I used to practice smiling and laughing in the mirror because I could tell it was weeding people out when I didn't react properly. I live a really normal, average life, so I think it would surprise most people. Whoa! So they just do it whenever they sense it's coming. Like, oh, they're laughing. I gotta laugh too. Ha 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 ha. Well, I guess some people really just don't feel emotion. I knew my husband was going to propose the day he did. He was acting off as we were about to leave the house. And while he was in the bathroom, I felt his coat and felt the ring box. He later refused to go out without his coat even on a warm day as we were walking around. And I had to hide that I knew why. I still acted surprised and legit cried, no acting there when he did, and was beaming the rest of the day. Week, month, year still today. But I would never tell him I knew beforehand that he was going to do it. That's hilarious. It's so obvious. It was literally a warm day and he's like, I need my coat. He couldn't have made it more obvious, right? Even if she didn't find it or feel it, she would have known too, right? Why do you need your coat? It's so hot. Okay, you have something in your coat. The night my mum died, my brother called earlier and said it was not looking good. I asked if I should jump on a plane and he said he wasn't sure. I delayed and she passed. She waited as long as she could as I slept 1,000 miles away. It eats me up. It's not their fault. Yeah, it's not their fault. They didn't know. That's a tough one because they have to live with it forever. When I was in high school, a girl and I had a serious case of puppy love. One afternoon, we were hanging out in an orange grove near her house. I picked up an orange off the ground and said, "What's this?" before throwing it towards a tree 20 meters away. There was a cluster of oranges hanging down from one of the tree's branches, and the orange that I threw hit the cluster stem perfectly. It snapped, and the oranges fell to the ground. A top 3 most badass thing I've ever done. I was aiming at the concrete block sitting on the ground 2 meters away. Wow, he just impressed her. That's gonna be forever in her mind too. She's gonna be telling people that her first love did that and no one topped it ever. Everyone else be missing the oranges. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!